In a world where indifference and insensitivity are rampant, how do we find the compassion to truly make a difference? Today, let's venture into a narrative that cuts through the noise of our busy lives and reaches into the core of human kindness. The Gospel of Luke opens a window into the essence of compassion, showing us just how transformative and radical empathy can be. It challenges us to not only reflect on our actions, but to actively strive for a society rooted in understanding and generosity. Did you know that the Gospel of Luke is often referred to as the Gospel of the Poor? Its pages tell a unique story of Jesus' mission, one that extends an open hand to the marginalized and offers a beacon of hope for the downtrodden. As we uncover the richness of Luke's narratives, we'll discover how the threads of salvation and inclusivity woven throughout this ancient text still offer profound meaning for us today. Join us as we explore how these timeless teachings inspire us to live out our faith with compassion at the forefront. In today's frenzied world, where we often pass by those in need without a second glance, it's crucial to pause and ask ourselves, when did we last reach out with a helping hand? The Gospel of Luke presents us with an inspiring figure, Jesus Christ, as the epitome of boundless compassion and mercy. His actions and parables provide a blueprint for living a life anchored in empathy and altruism. Through his encounters, we see him touch the lives of the leper, the blind man, and even a grieving mother, bringing them healing and hope against all odds. Let's consider a contemporary echo of this compassionate outreach. Picture Sarah, a young doctor who chose to work in an underserved rural community. Each day, she meets individuals who remind her of the very same people Jesus reached out to, those marginalized by illness, poverty, or society itself. Sarah's dedication to providing not just medical care, but also a listening ear and a supportive shoulder to lean on, exemplifies the modern application of Christ's teachings on compassion. Just like Jesus, she sees the invisible, hears the unheard, and heals the broken, affirming their worth and dignity. To truly live out Luke's portrayal of Jesus, we are called to extend our love beyond the bounds of our comfort zones, reaching out to those who have been cast aside or forgotten. As Sarah's story unfolds, we witness the transformative power of such compassion in action. Not only does it bring tangible relief to those she serves, but it also fosters an environment where hope thrives and community bonds are strengthened. In essence, each act of kindness reflects the divine love that the Gospel of Luke so vividly illustrates, and challenges us to ask, how can we too be messengers of compassion in our daily lives? In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus extends his hands not only to heal, but also to offer salvation to every soul, indicating that grace is available to all, irrespective of their past. Embracing this universal call, we find stories throughout history and into our present day that echo this profound inclusivity. Consider the experience of John, a man who hit rock bottom, his life marred by substance abuse and incarceration. When society had labeled him beyond redemption, it was the message of hope in Luke's gospel that became his lifeline. Through an outreach program at a local church, John encountered individuals who saw beyond his past, embodying Christ's unconditional love and acceptance. Like so many before him, John's story of transformation began with an encounter, a simple yet powerful moment when someone chose to extend mercy rather than judgment. This act reflects the essence of Luke's account of Jesus' promise of salvation, highlighting that redemption is accessible to everyone. Each testimony, like John's, serves as a modern-day parable, showcasing that the seeds of faith sown with compassion can flourish in even the most arid of soils. These narratives aren't mere anecdotes. They serve as vital reminders that our mission as followers of Christ isn't confined to the walls of the church. Instead, we're called to walk alongside those on the fringes just as Jesus did, offering the hope and salvation promised in Luke's gospel. As we share stories like John's, we invite others to discover a place within a narrative much larger than themselves, a narrative of grace that defies boundaries, breaks down barriers, and restores souls. Reflect on the last time you encountered someone like John. Think about the opportunity that lies before us to be vehicles of salvation, to be the familiar face of hope for those earnestly seeking redemption. How will you respond to Jesus' enduring invitation to bring his message of salvation to the corners of your world? In today's fast-paced society, where wealth often determines worth, the Gospel of Luke presents us with a radical perspective that challenges our relationship with material riches. Jesus addresses this issue head-on, making it clear that our possessions do not define us in the eyes of God. Think about the parable of the rich fool, a man blessed with abundant harvests, who, instead of sharing his surplus, chooses to store it away for himself. He is cautioned by God for his short-sightedness, as his life is demanded of him that very night, and he cannot take his wealth into the afterlife. Reflect on this story in the light of contemporary life, where economic inequality is glaringly prevalent. Are we focusing solely on the accumulation of wealth, or are we considering the wealth of our souls? How can we apply Jesus' teachings about wealth and poverty in our own lives? As you ponder the value placed on financial success in today's world, consider how acts of generosity can become a counter-narrative, embodying the essence of the gospel message. Engagement with this topic requires us to examine our own hearts and actions. How can we, as individuals and communities, be both stewards of our resources and servants to those in need? Consider what steps you can take to align your life more closely with the principles Jesus teaches us about wealth and poverty. So as we move forward, let us open a dialogue. Share your thoughts and experiences on living out these gospel values amidst the complexities of modern economies. How do you balance personal responsibility with social compassion? Your insights will not only enrich our collective understanding, but also help us draw closer to the heart of the Christian message, where true treasure lies not in the riches of this world, but in the love and grace we share with one another. Moving through the Gospel of Luke, we arrive at a powerful story showcasing God's boundless mercy, the parable of the Prodigal Son. This narrative unfolds as a young man demands his inheritance early, only to squander it in reckless living. Destitute and despondent, he decides to return home, expecting judgment but hoping for mercy. His father, seeing him from a distance, runs to him and embraces him, offering forgiveness without hesitation. It is this image of the Father's unconditional love and readiness to forgive that resonates with us so profoundly. Let's take a moment to reflect on our own lives, on times when we've strayed or made decisions we regret. Society often labels one as irredeemable, yet this parable teaches us about the power of second chances and the transformative nature of repentance. In our graphic representation of the son's journey, notice how the path is marked by different milestones: mistakes, realizations, and ultimately, redemption. Through this visual aid, we grasp the essence of reconciliation and restoration to a life of purpose. But let's expand our view beyond individual redemption. Think of communities divided by misunderstandings, mistakes, and mistrust. How does the message of the prodigal son inspire us to bridge these gaps? As we uncover layers of Luke's teachings, we see clear directives for repairing relationships and fostering collective healing. Imagine the impact if each of us lived out the principles found in this parable, amplifying forgiveness and acceptance within our circles. And now, as we contemplate the profound lessons of repentance and restoration found in the Gospel of Luke, we are called to action. How can we embody the Father's spirit of forgiveness in our daily interactions? How can we extend grace to ourselves and others, recognizing that each day brings a new opportunity for transformation? As we close this segment, ponder these questions, and let the enduring message of the prodigal son guide your steps towards a life rich in compassion and forgiveness. As we draw this exploration of Luke's gospel to a close, we can't help but be inspired by the profound messages of compassion and salvation that thread through each story and teaching. Let us reflect on how these ancient narratives shed light on the possibilities for grace and renewal in our own lives, urging us to extend hands of mercy and open our hearts to the promise of forgiveness. In a world eager for genuine connection and meaning, let us remember that the seeds of change begin with us. Whether it is through small acts of kindness, standing in solidarity with those who suffer, or offering a listening ear, we are all capable of reflecting the love and compassion that Jesus exemplified. As we part ways today, take a moment to consider how the insights from Luke's gospel can influence your interactions and choices. How will you become a beacon of hope and a proponent of the inclusive love that can bind our communities together? Your journey of faith and action does not end here. It is an ongoing quest for spiritual growth and understanding. We invite you to join the conversation by sharing your thoughts and stories in the comments below. How have the themes of compassion and salvation resonated with you? Your experiences and reflections enrich our collective journey toward divine light. If this message has moved you, we encourage you to subscribe to Divine Light for more content that bridges the gap between ancient wisdom and modern challenges. Share this video with friends, family, and fellow seekers of truth. Let us carry the torch of compassion together, lighting the way for ourselves and others. Stay tuned for our upcoming discussions, where we'll delve even deeper into practical steps for living out these transformative teachings. Until next time, may you walk in the light of faith, fortified by the enduring message of love found within the Gospel of Luke.